You're listening to Lord Friendly with Chris Takahashi and Alice Bell. Say hi, Alice.
Hey guys! It's almost like we haven't taken a 2-minute break. What the fuck?
So, what's the date
We're definitely
today?
recording these on a week-by-week
Yes.
basis.
It's like, what, April 6th right now? I don't know the exact date.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes. Yes, it is.
How are you on this fine April afternoon?
I'm fine. I am predicting that I'm no longer taking day nurse at this point, because if I am still taking day nurse at this point, it will be quite tragic.
Yeah.
I am also now, officially, on April the 6th, a member of the iPhone squad.
Oh, nice.
I'm an Apple fanboy girl.
Did you never
thing.
have a apple before or a penis? Because you said you're
No,
a fanboy.
I had neither of those. I had neither of those before, and yet this week, I acquired my iPhone. I acquired a good dick. I'm assuming that this is a good phone. I think it works very well, and I think that it is quite intuitive and easy to use. And the only reason I went for it is because I got 20% student discount, so there we go.
Okay. I was like, why make the
Always
leap
with
now?
a student discount.
Usually our people are pretty consistent with their brands. Like, they have a brand, they stick to it, through thick and thin.
Nah, I can't be bothered with that with phones. You know what the main function of a phone is?
To call
It's to do
people.
calls.
Yeah.
Yeah, my phone doesn't do that.
Oh.
The speaker broke,
Oh.
and the microphone broke.
Well, nowadays you text more than you call anyway, right?
Yeah, but my grandma doesn't know how to text.
Yeah, that's true. Or Skype.
My nonna doesn't know how to text. My dad prefers to speak over the phone. They like to hear your voice.
See, I'm the opposite, where my parents have iPhones and they know all that stuff, where I don't know any of it. So
Aw, baby.
it's kind of weird because like some sites require text for like two-factor identification,
Yeah.
authentication, I think it's called. So this is what happens. Like I will have to like put my mom's phone number in there, and then so like when I need to get two-factor authentication, I have to call my parents and ask them like, what was the code you just got? I'm like, hey mom, what's the code you just got? I need to enter it in to get into this website.
Wait, don't you have a mobile phone at all then?
No, I don't. I don't want to
Oh
pay
my-
for that shit. I can't afford it.
How do you take calls then? Do you have a landline?
Yes, I have a landline.
Oh, that's fair. I was gonna say.
No, but see, some websites, when they want two-factor authentication or authentication,
They send text.
Yeah, it has to be a text. So for those, I have like them send it to my mom's phone. If I ever need to log in, like using that, I'll have to call her for that. She's like, "Why are you calling
Yeah.
me? I need the password. I need the text you just got." It's like, "Oh, that's what this is." Anyways,
Aw, bless. That's adorable. Oh, you big dork.
but yeah, so I don't have a mobile phone. But you do, but it doesn't call people.
Yes, I do. I have a phone that calls people now.
Oh, okay.
On April the 6th. Or theoretically, if we were recording this on the 30th of March, then I would have a phone that doesn't call people. Theoretically, of course.
Theoretically, of course.
But come 6th of April, which is when we are definitely recording this,
Yes.
I have a phone that is completely functional as a phone,
Nice.
which is great.
Congratulations to you, Alice.
I'm so happy.
So what else is going on? What else did you want to talk about?
What else is going on in April? Easter, the rapture hasn't come for us yet. Jesus hasn't raised all the dead bodies out of the ground yet, I hope. I don't know my theology. What else has happened this week? Well, I don't know what else has happened this week, but I know that last week, the new trailer for The Handmaid's Tale Season 2 came out.
Oh.
So did you end up watching Season 1 of The Handmaid's Tale?
I did watch Season 1. It was very dark and dystopian.
I am very intrigued as to where Season 2 ends up going, because Season 1, for the most part, hit the main plot beats of the book. And the book ended when the series ended. So this is completely uncharted territory. So
Which could be good or bad, as we know from experience with other shows.
given the run of certain showrunners, with inventing new material outside of the books, it might not be so hot, but I'm intrigued. I'm definitely interested to see what direction they take the plot lines in. There were some show-only plot lines that I feel improved on the book a little bit. The plot line with Ofglin, the lesbian handmaid, I felt was very well done, and that was basically a show-only invention. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what they do with all of this unlimited freedom, because on the one hand they've done some very good show-only plot lines. On the other hand, we got the episode of Luke and his escapes to Canada, which wasn't so great. So, bit of a mixed bag, really.
Did Luke not survive in the books?
No, he survived and he did go to Canada, but the whole book was from Offred's perspective.
Right.
So she didn't know if Luke was alive or not.
And then here,
so
in
the whole
book,
Luke episode was very unusual.
Yeah, so here in the TV show, I mean, we're sort of like following that plot line and expanding on it. Where like when it kind of takes you out of it, I guess.
Yeah.
For a second, I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. It's just like
I just felt that it wasn't as strong as the rest of the episodes that they'd set up. Like the Luke episode was definitely the weakest episode.
Yeah, I felt like if they wanted to take you out of it, they just go to the past, and the past is probably a better way to do it, as far as instead of going to like the present day and like going to Luke's sort of plot line, which we don't care about. We don't, it's like, who's Luke? I don't even remember who it was until you mentioned Canada. I'm like, oh, that was her husband in like
yeah.
But in general, I like the show. It's just super depressing. It's a really good show. You just gotta be in the right mood, because like there was just so much nonsense going on in the news that I was already depressed enough about that, and then on top of that, just see this kind of twisted mirror of what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like the perfect time for it, because it's a mirror of what's happening in society today, but at the same time, it's also the wrong time for it, because it's a little bit too much for me. But in general, like the show itself is great.
Yeah, and it's a fantastic book. If you haven't read The Handmaid's Tale, I would seriously recommend reading it, because it is one of my favourite books of all time. So, pick it up on Amazon Kindle. You can use the code LawFriendly for 10. You can't use the code LawFriendly for 10% off. We're not big enough to get a code with Amazon. Let's face it. And 2 weeks ago, I believe. Sorry, I'm closing my curtains. 2 weeks ago, the new Deadpool trailer came out, and Deadpool was the surprise smash hit of the Marvel Universe.
Was it really a surprise? I mean, isn't Deadpool like a really popular character?
They weren't sure how he was going to translate on screen. So the fact that his sales basically transcended like the Marvel Big Four was pretty impressive.
It was. I think Ryan Reynolds is just good for that role.
Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool.
Yeah. He nails like the comedy and the sort of the what's that word? Breaking the fourth wall stuff.
Yeah.
Really well. Yeah.
Just if there is one role that he was born for, it was Deadpool.
Yeah.
There is no better role for him. Like his interactions in the film and out of the film.
He'd be better
fantastic.
in a Deadpool movie than in like a Ryan Reynolds biography.
Yeah. Yeah. That is exactly right.
If he had to play himself, it wouldn't be as authentic as if he was in Deadpool.
Playing Deadpool.
Yeah.
But it looks like more of the fun, irreverent, gory humour that we came to expect from the first film. And the first film was a masterpiece in that it has managed to supersede Disney films as my go-to hangover film.
Really? Is it like a critically acclaimed movie? I remember I liked it, but I don't know if I was just...
I feel like it was pretty well acclaimed. Like, the humour was on point. And just from, like, a personal perspective, Like, when I'm hungover, there are two things that I want to watch, and it's Disney and it's Deadpool. You know, I like to oscillate between the two moods kind of thing.
You hit those extremes.
Yeah, I hit those extremes. Yeah, no, I'm really excited for the new Deadpool movie. I'm not sure when it's coming out. I'm assuming summer. I'm assuming this is going to be the summer blockbuster for Marvel.
Is there a new Disney movie coming out?
Oh, God, I don't know. Everything's Disney nowadays, technically.
That's true.
There's a new Han Solo movie coming out. That's Disney.
That's right.
God. They're expecting that one to be a massive flop.
Are you?
Yeah, everyone is. Like, even the actors have come out and said that, yeah, no, this is shit.
Oh, yeah. Good, I could save my money then.
I mean, I'm still gonna go see it.
The money that I am not spending on my phone.
Yeah.
My monthly phone bill.
You can throw out the Han Solo movie.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
I just had to do a shot of the medicine that I definitely don't need to take at this point in time.
That has absolutely no alcohol or methamphetamine ingredients in it.
Exactly. Got it in one.
So what else are we talking about? We want to move on to Jessica Jones. Anything else you want to...
Episode 4 to 6.
Yeah.
So, last Friday, me and Kris decided to go back to our age-old tradition of watching the episode at the same time and commentating on things to each other.
There's a lot that went on.
For 3 episodes. I am so proud of you for putting up with me for 3 hours.
We managed to get through it with almost no dick jokes until ZCN came on.
Yeah. ZCN. Zipper Cock News.
What does that stand for?
I don't know. I think that it's Zebedee. I think the Z is Zebedee.
What is a Zebedee?
From the Magic Round. As in from the Magic Roundabout. Zebedee.
Oh, okay.
Zebedee.
That sounds like it
I
would
think
be
it's
a
Zebedee
great
Central
name
News.
for a news network about hard-hitting news in the Middle East.
I think it's Zebedee Central News.
I think it's cable news.
That is my theory.
I think, or the cable network or something. It could be
But
network
what is
or
the
news.
Z?
That's what I'm saying. It was probably zippers or zebras. There should be a channel that was dedicated exclusively to zebras and maybe zippers.
There probably is. It's called National Geographic.
Yeah, but they cover all the animals. They don't just cover zebras in particular.
Do you think they have like a red button channel where you press it and then it's just zebras?
What's a zebra? You mean a zebra?
A zebra.
I don't know what that is. But yeah.
It's a zebra.
What is a zebra anyway?
Learn
It just seems
English.
like it'd be like a striped horse.
It is. It's in the same family of horses, only it's striped for its camouflage. Helps it hide in the grass.
But does it like act like a horse? Do people ride them?
No, it's got a more bristly mane, I think, than a horse. And its tail's more like a donkey's. So it's in that same kind of family.
Yeah. We
It's
would
like a
know
cross
this if
between
we
a
were watching
horse.
ZCN more often.
Yeah, well, you know, I can't afford the cable.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, something happened in this episode other than zebras and zippers. How did we start off episode 4?
We started off episode 4 with Jess in therapy. Anger management.
Oh, that's right. That was like very Breaking Bad-ish. I think she
Yeah.
was even wearing the same shirt. I don't know if maybe it was like an homage to that.
Maybe. But she took out all of her rage on this poor little stress ball, and she broke the stress ball and she broke the wall. And it did nothing to deserve that. It was just cruel and wrong. It's the greatest crime that Jess has ever committed, is what I'm saying.
I wonder if you can like throw a ball, like a stress ball with that much velocity that it could damage things. I guess so. I guess anything, even if it's soft and if it's like pliable, even if it has enough velocity, maybe it can break things. I don't know.
I guess if we were superheroes, then yes, we could.
Like imagine being strong enough to kill somebody with like a wad of cotton.
Oh, that would be so sick. That would be so cool.
Like you could
I would be
throw
so
it
down with that.
enough velocity to have it like be as hard as concrete. That would be pretty crazy.
That would be so cool. But yeah, she goes back. Oscar's ex. Oscar is the landlord superintendent guy. She's having an argument with Oscar. His creepy little kid sneaks down and he's like, hey, super lady. Hey. And he decides to crawl out of a window.
Yeah. This is all for the plot.
I want to get saved.
It's all for the plot.
And he gets saved. And the superintendent blames it on Jess. And Jess is like, bitch, I didn't do shit. I saved your kid. Because he's a dick.
Yeah, I mean, on the one hand, it's like a plot device, but on the other hand, I could see a fucking stupid kid doing that shit because kids are fucking dumb. But yeah.
So some paparazzis managed to snap a photo of the woman who was claimed to be the doctor that Jessica met last episode. And turns out that she's wearing a wig.
Mm.
And this is my first issue with this episode. Given that New York City is the home to one of the most famous drag scenes in the world, with some of the most talented and wealthy drag queens in the world, there is no way on earth that there are only 3 shops in New York City that do wigs of such a high quality that they are unclockable. There is no way on God's green earth.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. This is where, like, it's always interesting that we take exception to stuff like this, but we don't take exception to the fact there's these, like, superheroes that can fly and throw things into buildings. So there's some things that you just can't suspend your disbelief for, you know?
And that's the fact that there's only 3 good wig makers in New York City. No, New York is the home of US drag.
Yes.
It has one of the most vibrant drag scenes in the world. There is no way on earth that there are only 3 good wig makers there.
Yeah.
No way on fucking earth.
I think you should come up with the research and find out exactly how many wig stores there are in that area.
And then send it off to Netflix.
Yes.
Like, you know, I took exception with episode 4, timestamp 2005, where...
Yeah, they could have, like, narrowed it down to a specific type of wig, like maybe a brand or something, and maybe Jessica, like, recognized, like, only this store carries it, or she made the calls, like, do you carry this wig, or blah, 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 and, you know, that could have worked. Hold on, I'm gonna crush this spider.
Plus, that wig just stays on. Like, no, that's not how wigs work. You have to glue down the lace front. You have to glue it down, otherwise it's gonna fall off. That wig ain't going anywhere.
You know what kind of job would suck to watch TV as? Like, a cop. Because you'd always be nitpicking everything. Because, like, you know, when you're watching something, like, if you're an expert on that, you're like, this is not how it is in real life. Like, you're an expert on wigs, right? So when you watch Jessica Jones, you get pissed off when you watch this, like, wig scene. Imagine being, like, a cop, and in every, like, episode they're doing something stupid that cops don't do.
It's like, God fucking damn it. Why?
Like, these aren't the brand of donuts we eat. Unwatchable is what you would be saying.
10 out of 10 would not watch again.
Yeah. So what else happened this episode?
The kid tells Oscar that Jess didn't throw him out the window. She saved him.
Oh yeah, the kid that she shouldn't have saved. If if it had to be between the kid and the wizard, I wish she had saved the wizard and let the kid die. Just saying.
Yeah, but then we wouldn't have got Oscar bringing Jess some whiskey.
Oh, that's
and
true.
Him refusing to have sex with her.
Yeah, that was weird. That didn't make any sense at all.
That was weird. Yeah, no, this is weird. You were hating me half an hour ago. Haven't you heard of a hate fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, come on, man.
Exactly.
But yeah, so he runs away. Jess is like, well, shit. Vagina blocked. Clamsham? Is that a word? Clamdam.
Sure, why not? We could just invent it.
There was a clamdam.
It can be a word.
She got clamdammed. Trish starts taking Simpson's medication, which makes her all angsty when they go to find the... They've traced down the doctor, who they assume is one of the final patients, to a homeless district full of derelict buildings and stuff. Yeah. Trish gets a bit jumpy.
Trish is dealing with a lot of shit right now.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, so Trish gets jumpy. She takes some of Simpson's medication, and she super tasers this poor woman, who is not super. She's just a nurse who got abused by the big bad. And then they drive back to Jess's apartment, and someone who Cheng has sent to steal all of Jessica's research gets killed by the big bad. And then Jess turns up and she gets arrested for it because fuck.
Again, probably the cops at home are just screaming at their televisions because it's all wrong. But yeah, this is the part where she could have called her new lawyer friend Matt Murdock, but if he didn't die in the last show, so.
Yeah, we kind of forgot about that, didn't we? We're like, where's Matt? Why did she just get Matt? And it's like, no, he's dead.
He would be a lot more pleasant to deal with.
Than Hogarth, yeah.
Hogarth comes with that extra baggage. I mean, now she's kind of dealing with her own shit, so it's understandable. But she's always been a bit, like, edgy. And, what's the word?
Spiky.
Yeah. She's like the spiny shell in Mario Kart. They should just call it the Hogarth shell. Yeah, Trish is dealing with a lot of shit. She's having romantic issues with her ZCN guy because she wants to be on that Zebra network, and she doesn't like necessarily want to like ride this guy's coattails. She wants to be in his position. She wants to take his job, right, and cover zebras for the rest of her life. And so she's dealing with stress from that. She's dealing with stress from the whole Jessica thing. So that's why she's starting to take all these drugs. And she's actually kind of becoming more and more like Jessica, right? She's kind of descending into this darker pit.
Perhaps even more reckless than Jessica is. Yeah.
And there's also this like other romance angle with Malcolm now. Because, I mean, I guess they can both relate because they're both like, you know, addicts. One is recovered and one is like, you know, delving into it.
Relapsing.
So yeah, it's it'll be interesting to see where it goes from here with Trish.
Yeah. So Jess, through the nurse, Jess and Malcolm managed to track down a guy who was framed for the death of another nurse. He's mentally handicapped. He's been put into a psych ward. High security. So Jess calls in a favour with her super, who, I don't think we mentioned this, he got arrested for forgery.
Yeah, that's his superpower, he said.
Yeah, that's his superpower. He's a good forger. And she's like, so I need a favour for saving your kid. Can you maybe forge me a thing to get me into the hospital?
That would be cool if it actually was a superpower. Like she thought he was gonna do it like manually, but then he just sort of like whips up this like magic wand,
psychic paper,
and just like, I told you it was my superpower. You didn't believe me. It'd be like the Wizard all over again. She's like, wait, I thought you were just like a normal dude who could forge documents. Like, no, it's a superpower.
Honest. Yeah. But yeah, so she sneaks into this psych hospital. And she has an interview with the guy who was framed, and he mentions that there was this other guy at the workplace where the woman was killed that he used to like to take him to go and see the octopuses. The octopuses. So
octopi.
The octopi. So Jess goes and sees the octopi, and then she sees this dude, and then she has a flashback. And the flashback is the guy who had the experiments on her.
And your thought is that it might be Dr. Octopus?
I swear it's Dr. Octopus. He is closely connected with octopuses. He has an octopus mug.
Yeah, that is just
He lives in New York City.
It's a weird thing to...
There is no way that he's not Dr. Octopus.
It's a weird thing to make a big deal about. I agree there.
Exactly.
But his name was Carl. It wasn't like Otto, whatever that guy's name is.
He'll take on the pseudonym of Dr. Octopus.
Oh, okay.
Dr.
Carl Octopus.
Yeah, and then he's gonna like end up, what I reckon is, my fan theory, is that he's going to end up like super debilitated at the end of Jessica Jones. And then he builds a mechanical suit and like superpowers himself with his own like serums and stuff.
Yeah.
And then he becomes too much of a threat for Jessica Jones, so then he becomes Spider-Man's nemesis, and then it all comes full circle.
It is a weirdly specific thing to be infatuated with, octopuses. The one caveat I would give is that, I mean, if he's she's in the same universe as like the big movie Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna use this guy from the TV show to be the villain in like a big
This
budget
is his
movie.
origin story.
Yeah, but they would
This
have
is
to use
his
the
origin
same actor,
story.
right?
That didn't stop them from replacing Tony Stark's right-hand man in the second Iron Man. Rhodey.
Wait, who was
They
it
changed
before?
actors for Rhodey. There was just two different actors.
Wasn't it
like in
John
the first Iron Man, it was one
Swingers
actor.
guy the whole time? He's like a pretty famous actor, a famous like director too.
They had one actor for Rhodey, and then they changed it to a different actor in
Oh,
Iron Man
you're talking
2.
about the other guy. I thought you were talking about the Butler guy. You're talking about
No.
Terrence Howard and Don Cheadle. You're talking about
Yeah.
what's his face? War Machine. Is that his name? War Machine?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. Well, that's
But yeah,
because
they changed the actors.
didn't Terrence Howard go like batty or something? Like didn't he? I don't know. I think there was some drama with
Still,
him.
there's precedent for replacing actors.
Yeah, that's
So,
true, but it wasn't like an intentional thing. I mean, I think they were like forced into it with like some kind of contract dispute. Like originally, he was gonna be the guy throughout the whole movie.
My point still stands, Chris.
Sure, okay, why not? He's Dr. Octopus. If not Dr.
Yeah.
Octopus, he could be Dr. Carl Squid or something.
Dr. Caltopus. Caltopusy.
Just rolls off the tongue, Carltopussy.
Yeah. And yeah, so he sees Jessica. He's like, oh shit, it's Jessica. And then the woman just like smashes an aquarium tank and floods the whole thing.
Yeah. Did she even need to do that? That was just
No, she didn't. I don't think.
murdering fish for no good reason.
Poor fish. It's not fair.
Yeah, I mean she's
What about nature, damn it?
she's stronger than Jessica, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
What about nature, damn it?
She could have just walked out and said, "Okay, bye. I'm not going to cause damage to this aquarium equipment.
I'm not going to kill these fish.
Yeah, I'm just going to walk out. You can't
That
stop
would be
me."
immoral.
Yeah. And what did she think was going to happen? Like, Jessica's like, "Oh no, the fish are going to die. I better save them instead of chasing you." But
Yeah.
in any case,
I don't
next, that was the end of episode 5, and then we had
5.
last episode 6.
So, Jess finds that the good Dr. Carl's personal expenses are being run through a hosiery company. For those of you who don't know, hosiery is like sexy stockings and shit. So that's a bit suspicious. And so they trace back the hosiery company to this guy who the Doctor went to university with. And Jess and Trish go and sneak onto a golf course. And Trish starts causing a scene. There's a lot of stuff about like men exclusive clubs and stuff. And then she collapses and then she throws up a bit. Meanwhile,
She gets sick for real, though.
yeah, she gets like major withdrawals. Like absolute crazy withdrawals. And then whilst Trish is causing a scene up front, Jess jumps over a wall and she goes and finds the hosiery man. And he's like, no, Dr. Carl's a really nice guy. He saved my son. He had this massive birth defect. He wasn't going to live. Now look at him. He's alive.
Yeah.
And so that's why I pay all of his expenses for him, because all of his stuff was experimental and he risked his entire reputation to save my son. I don't believe what you're saying about
just
him.
has a strange fetish for 8 tentacled animals that live in the sea. It's just, other than that, just normal guy.
All he needs to do is watch hentai.
Yeah. I don't get that, but to each their own. But other than that, completely normal guy. But I think that alone would probably make you a little bit abnormal, right? Like, how many people you would just meet on the street and they're just, their thing is octopuses? I guess if they're a marine biologist, it makes sense. I don't know.
Yeah, but like just in general, it's a bit.
Yeah, it's a bit over the line to have it on your cup. You might like appreciate the animal from afar, or appreciate the biology behind it, but
yeah,
when you start like having it on your cup, then maybe yeah, it's a little bit overboard there. Anyways.
Yeah. So, whilst Trish is going through withdrawals, Jess goes and finds this dude's son and FaceTimes her dad, and she's like, "Hey, so look who I've got here. Tell me where the doctor is." And so, because his son's being threatened, he tells her where the doctor is, and they go to this fancy house. And while she's going to the fancy house, Malcolm goes round to Trish's and drops off her inhaler, and Trish gets super horny. Trish and Malcolm have sex, which I called.
Yeah. I mean, they got together, but it's not, like, real at this point. It's kind of just, like, well, maybe for Malcolm
Steroided.
it is. But for Trish, it's just kind of, like, she's just in that.
An outlet.
Yeah. So, we'll see.
And
we'll see if they hook up at the end. Or I mean, because
Yeah.
usually romances in these shows don't really last long.
No.
They're not
You
good
just
for
have to
plot.
look at Luke for that.
Yeah. Well, Luke is different because he had his own show. But in general, like, shows need conflict, and people getting along and being happy isn't good for conflict always. So.
Oh, at some point, Jess hooks up with the superintendent.
Oh, that's right. And he
And
draws
he
her a
paints
picture.
this really... Yeah, he paints this picture of her while she's sleeping. And fun little Easter egg, that is the exact same style as the front covers of the Alias comics, which is where Jessica Jones originated. So there's your fun Easter egg for the day.
Nice. I'm glad
Carry
you caught
on.
that, because I didn't notice that.
Jessica goes to the address that she was given for the doctor. She goes down to the basement, and she finds a picture of her and her brother. And then the big bad comes up behind her with the doctor, and the big bad takes off her wig, and she's all scarred and burned and stuff. And she's like, "Yo, Jessica, it's me, your mom." Dun, dun, dun.
It was a big twist.
That was a big twist.
Yes. And now Jessica has someone to send her 2-factor authentication messages
Yeah.
to. Because her
And that was
mother's
the end
back
of
in her
Jessica
life.
Jones. And it's a good thing as well, because she kind of destroyed her phone. So,
she
you know.
did. So where do you think this whole thing is going with, like, her mom back in her life, but her mom's sort of crazy, like the crazy version
I
of
don't
her?
think it's her mom. I think that it's... I don't think that it's her mom.
Really?
I
Who do you
do
think
not.
it is?
Not her mom. I feel like they're emotionally manipulating her
That
to
could
get her
be
to stop
true.
pursuing them.
But I felt like that this episode and in the series in general, they're trying to paint, what's her name? The mom's name?
I don't know.
The mom. They're trying to paint her as Jessica's mirror opposite, so that if someone is manipulating her, it would be like her own Kilgrave. So Dr. Carl is like her Kilgrave, and so when Jessica views the mom's actions, she kind of like sees a bit of herself, and that's why she sort of feels like she might be a killer, because I don't know.
It's in her genes as well.
Yeah. So it makes sense to me narratively that she would be the mom. Like the fact that they share blood and genetics makes it even more so.
But I don't want it to be her mom.
Yeah. Why not? I mean, people go crazy after like traumatic injuries, brain injuries in particular. So, I mean, it would just be sad for Jessica emotionally to have to.
Yeah, I don't want my girl to have to go through any more of that shit.
Yeah. But she probably will.
So that was up to episode 6. Join us next week.
April 8th. I'm not sure.
April something. When we will do the next thing. I'm tired now.
Yeah. It's alright. You're sick. I'm sick too. So we're like grinding
we're
through
both
this.
dying.
But it's alright. We got a good 30 minutes talking about this. So
we've got a good 40 minutes for each episode, really.
Wow. We're going places with this.
I know, right?
Alright, so that's it for this episode. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone.